Hi! Why did I name my business the Happy Film Company? It might be obvious. I take happy photos. Um, I also had this cute vision of camera film, like on an actual film. And if you pull my film out of the camera and look at the negatives, you'd just be like, every photo on here is so happy. It's just like happy, 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 happy. This is happy film. Because by comparison, some photographers are very romantic, dramatic, moody, edgy, whatever words. That's a thing that happens when you start a business or you start a brand or you become a photographer, and everyone's like, oh, what are your words? How do you describe your style? And that's such a difficult question when you first start your business or your art, because you're like, I don't even know. Like, I want to see what I'm capable of. I want to go do a shoot that's super happy because I want to see, out of curiosity, can I make people happy the whole time? It's kind of a challenge. For 1 hour, can you get a family to be constantly laughing? Then I would want to go on a shoot that was really moody and romantic. I was like, can I do that? Can I make a shoot that looks like it's Twilight vampires? How do you do that? Like, do I have to do it at a certain time of day? My camera settings need to be set at something, or is it maybe the editing? Maybe the editing is like dark and kind of grayish, or maybe, like you're wondering these things. How do I make it look like that? I used to go on Pinterest all the time and scroll through and just look at these professional photographers and their profiles or their portfolios and just think, like, how did they do that? Because my photos don't look like that. And so it's like a bit of course correction. As you go on a shoot, in the beginning, you go and you emulate somebody. And then if you really want to learn how to do that shoot, you try and emulate it again and again. And each time you do a shoot, you get a little bit closer. And then you might kind of get sick of it. That's what happens. You're like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of Edward the Vampire, dark, depressing shoots. But you know what? I nailed it. I figured out how to do it. Let's go over here instead. Now I'm going to try and do that like super light and airy pastel look. Yeah, super romantic, and it's like dreamy and glowy and creamy. So for a while, your ISO is turned up really high and your aperture's down really low, and you're just trying to shoot at the golden hour, and you're looking for that little tiny pop of sunshine that's going to come through. But don't overexpose the faces, because then the skin's going to be way too bright. Oh man, how do you get the wedding dress to not be so blown out white while also still making sure the photo looks glowy? And it's a whole thing. And then after that, you're like, you know what? What if I try shooting perfectly exposed? Like, so my exposure line is on the dot in the center, and then you're like, actually, it's kind of contrasty. And you're spending a year or more doing that. Just, what about this style? How do I do that style? And you see beauty in all of them, so you can't, like, choose one and run with it. I mean, you could, but, like, as an artist, you're creative and you're curious and you're wanting to explore how it feels to create that style. How does it feel inside? When you create the moody photo, the dark moody photo, does it make you feel good? You're like, yes, that's what I needed to do. Or do you look at it and you're like, well, I did it, but like, it doesn't really make my heart sing. And then if you edit the photo differently and it's really bright, you're like, oh, I love it. Like, what makes you love your photos? And can you do it on purpose? So that's finding your style. Like this guy down here on the street who's wearing an aviator jacket and a little aviator hat with the ears that drop down and short, or pants that are way too short. It probably took years to develop that that's his style. He even has on different colored shoes. And so your photography style is a little bit of this and a little bit of that, different colored shoes. You're like, I really love how I learned shadows from the Edward Twilight photo shoots, but I really loved like the glowiness of the wedding photos. And so maybe I can do like shadows with a glowiness, and you start to tweak and evolve your own style over time to the point where it's almost like a signature fingerprint recognizable style. People who know me look at my photos and they can identify. They're like, oh, that's a Chamonix, a Happy Film Company photo. And the more time that you edit your own photos, you really you're soaking it in. Not only did you take it, but you're looking at what you created and then seeing all the little, this is how I sign language, the Lightroom settings, Photoshop settings, all this little tweaking and adjusting. It's not just like one preset, matches. Like, you can use presets and then you play with them and you change them, and over time you invent your own presets and the style evolves, and that's super duper fun. And not only is it the style of the image you're creating and the way it looks, but also the style of communication. How do you talk to the people when they're in front of your camera? What tones of voice, what word choice do you use? What kinds of commands do you give? What style of you are you a photographer? How do you hold your body? How do you dress? What facial expressions do you make? How do you interact with the people when you're not taking pictures with them? What kind of people are you attracting to you, and what is their style? Like, there's all these elements. Also, same with business. What kind of business style do you run? Are you like 24-hour delivery, super quick? Are you only going to deliver one photo, but it's going to be the perfect photo, and that's what they want? Or are you going to deliver like 500 photos and they want all of them, or somewhere in the middle? So all of those little things get developed over time. And right from the beginning, I called my company the Happy Film Company because I was, at that moment in my life, really connecting with happiness. I was like, you know what? I want to create photos and videos that make me and my clients and anybody else who looks at this work will feel happiness. And you'll either feel happiness because it's pretty and it's a good feeling, or you know the person and you're seeing their personality and it makes you happy to see that shine out, or whatever it is. It's just like good, happy vibes. It's kind of hard sometimes to talk about your own art, your own creation, your own business. But happiness, yeah, playfulness, joy. That's why I believe that's why people hire me. It's because you want me to take photos for you that are capturing the happiness that you are feeling, or to bring you into an environment and give you an opportunity to cultivate happiness and express that happiness and have it captured. Or if you haven't been feeling happy, a photo shoot sometimes can lift your mood and get you out of the norm and spark some happiness. And of course, to be able to look at the photos and videos that we created and to remember and to feel the happiness of remembering these moments and seeing these expressions, these happy expressions. So my work has a lot of smiles and a lot of laughter, a lot of movement, a lot of color and light, and it's very, very based in people being totally themselves, real, relaxed. I'm not posing you like pretty much ever. It's just kind of like go off and play, and then I'm going to buzz and chase after you and lean down on the ground and find cool ways to capture you while you're totally just playing with your kids, or if the kids are playing with the world. Yeah. My last comment is really how often the beautiful seed grows into the full tree. So the seed of my business was, I don't know what my style is going to be. I don't know what it's going to look like. I just know I want it to feel happy. It's been around now for 7-8 years, something like that. And the image style, the colors, all of it has kind of changed over time. But it was always kind of like the North Star is this making me happy? Is this happy? Is this happy? And so we're here today with what is currently our version of happy. So yeah, that's the history of the Happy Film Company, and some little bit of guidance or coaching on how your style will develop as a photographer. And you can subscribe to me on YouTube, or if you'd like to do some coaching with me, I'm offering coaching for photographers. If you're getting your business started or you want some guidance around stuff like developing your own style, the links for that are also below.